What if I told you that everything you learned about the origins of human civilization might be incomplete? That our official history omits encounters that forever changed the course of humanity? Have you ever stopped to think about how ancient peoples, without modern technology, managed to erect structures that challenge our current engineering capabilities? In caves around the world, rock paintings thousands of years old show humanoid figures with helmets, emanating lights and piloting objects that bear a dangerous resemblance to spaceships. Ancient texts from India describe flying vehicles called vimanas, capable of traveling between worlds. The Bible recounts Ezekiel's vision, where wheels of fire descended from the heavens. This might seem like conspiracy theory, and perhaps it is, but the evidence is scattered across the entire planet, from the pyramids of Egypt to the Nazca lines in Peru, from the Moai of Easter Island to the megalithic structures of Pumapunku. Constructions that seem to have been made to be seen from above, with mathematical precision that borders on the impossible. Over the next several minutes, we will dive into archaeological evidence that challenges conventional explanations. We will learn about civilizations that claim to have learned from beings from the stars, discover artifacts that appear to be of extraterrestrial origin, and explore the possibility that our evolution received help that official science prefers to ignore. I do not claim to believe everything, but it is important to know that there exists a global pattern of evidence that cannot simply be dismissed. Prepare yourself to question everything you thought you knew about our ancestors. Official archaeology struggles to explain how ancient civilizations achieved feats that challenge our current understanding. At Pumapunku in Bolivia, stone blocks weighing more than 100 tons were cut with millimeter precision. The joints are so perfect that not even a sheet of paper can pass between them. Conventional archaeologists claim that these structures were built by the ancestors of present-day Bolivians, using only stone tools and ropes. But when modern engineers attempt to replicate these constructions, even with our advanced technology, they encounter enormous difficulties. The mystery deepens when we analyze the stones of Baalbek in Lebanon. 3 monumental blocks, each weighing about 800 tons, were transported in position and with absolute precision. To move these stones today, we would need the world's largest cranes. How did ancient peoples accomplish such a feat? On Easter Island, the Moai are not just heads as many believe. Recent excavations reveal that these statues have entire bodies buried in the ground. Some reach over 30 meters in height. But what most intrigues researchers is the precision with which they were sculpted and transported across the island. This evidence suggests that our ancestors possessed knowledge and technologies that we have lost throughout history, or they received help from more advanced civilizations. The pattern repeats on all continents, as if there were global knowledge shared among cultures that should never have met. Humanity's oldest sacred essays contain detailed descriptions of beings who descended from the heavens. The book of Ezekiel describes a vision where wheels within wheels appeared in the sky, emanating lights and deafening sounds. When we read this passage with modern eyes, the description remarkably resembles contemporary UFO sighting reports. The Mahabharata, a Hindu epic over 3,000 years old, describes aerial battles between gods using vimanas, flying vehicles capable of traveling great distances in mere moments. These texts describe in technical detail the operation of these craft, including propulsion and navigation systems that we only know today. In Sumerian mythology, we find the Anunnaki, beings who supposedly came from the planet Nibiru to exploit Earth's resources. According to cuneiform tablets, these beings created a race of hybrid workers by mixing their DNA with that of terrestrial primates. Could this be the explanation for the missing link in human evolution? Mayan texts speak of Kukulkan, the feathered serpent who descended from the heavens to teach agriculture, astronomy, and mathematics to the ancestors. Similarly, the Egyptians venerated Thoth, who supposedly brought knowledge from the stars. Andean peoples worshipped Viracocha, the creator who came from the heavens. It is remarkable how cultures separated by oceans and millennia share similar narratives about celestial visitors. All describe beings who brought advanced knowledge, taught construction and agricultural techniques, and promised to return in future times. Coincidence or collective memory of real events? Human evolution presents gaps that have intrigued scientists for decades. The so-called missing link continues to be an unsolved mystery. How do we explain the abrupt evolutionary leap that separated us from other primates? In just 2,000 years, we developed complex consciousness, sophisticated language, and the ability to create civilizations, an extremely short period in evolutionary terms. Recent genetic analyses reveal that modern humans possess DNA sequences that do not appear in any other terrestrial primate. About 223 human genes have no known evolutionary precedents. Where did these unique genetic sequences come from? The human Y chromosome underwent significant changes approximately 60,000 years ago, coinciding with the period when our species began to spread across the planet with advanced technology and social organization. Some geneticists speculate about the possibility of external intervention in this process. Elongated skulls found in various parts of the world present anatomical characteristics distinct from modern humans. These skulls, discovered in Peru, Egypt, and Europe, have larger cranial capacity and differentiated bone structure. DNA analyses reveal genetic markers not identified in known human populations. The presence of the Rh- factor in human blood also generates questions. About 15% of the world's population has this factor, which does not appear in other primates. People with Rh- blood present distinct physical and mental characteristics, including slightly superior IQ and resistance to certain diseases. Over the decades, archaeologists have discovered objects that challenge our understanding of historical chronology. The Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a 2,000-year-old Greek shipwreck, is an analog computer capable of predicting eclipses and planetary movements with extraordinary precision. The technology necessary to create such a device was only rediscovered in the 20th century. In Iraq, Baghdad batteries were found, 2,000-year-old artifacts that generate electric current when filled with acidic solution. What would ancient civilizations need electricity for? Near these batteries, they discovered metallic objects with signs of galvanization, a process that requires advanced knowledge of electrochemistry. The London hammer, fossilized in 400-million-year-old rock, completely challenges our temporal understanding. Metallurgical analysis revealed an iron alloy purer than anything produced industrially today. How did a manufactured object become fossilized in prehistoric rock? In Romania, the Iud object intrigued scientists for decades. Found alongside 2,000-year-old mastodon bones, the artifact is made of an extremely pure aluminum alloy. Aluminum was first isolated only in 1825, and its mass production only began in the 20th century. How do we explain its presence in such ancient geological layers? Perfect metallic spheres were discovered in South African mines dated to 3 billion years ago. These spheres present precise parallel grooves around their circumference. No known natural process can create objects with such perfect geometric characteristics. The Great Pyramids of Giza are not just funerary monuments, but complex engineering systems that demonstrate advanced astronomical knowledge. The Pyramid of Khufu is aligned with almost perfect precision to the cardinal points. Its perimeter multiplied by 43,200 equals Earth's perimeter at the equator. Mathematical coincidence or deliberate knowledge? Stonehenge in England functions as an astronomical observatory capable of predicting eclipses and planetary movements. Its stones were transported from quarries located more than 300 kilometers away. How did Neolithic peoples achieve such logistics without modern technology? The temples of Angkor Wat in Cambodia reproduce on the ground the Dragon constellation as it appeared in the sky 1,000 years ago. The entire complex was planned as a three-dimensional stellar map. The level of astronomical knowledge necessary for such an undertaking was only achieved again with modern telescopes. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey revolutionized our understanding of ancient civilizations. Built 12,000 years ago, the complex predates Stonehenge by 7,000 years and the pyramids by 8,000 years. Its 20-ton columns were sculpted and positioned by a supposedly hunter-gatherer civilization. How did nomadic societies manage to organize a project of such magnitude? The Nazca lines in Peru can only be fully appreciated from above. Some figures extend for kilometers with perfect geometric precision. Why would a civilization create art visible only from the sky if it did not possess flight technology? The lines appear to function as a gigantic astronomical map, marking positions of celestial bodies at different times of the year. The Piri Reis map from 1513 shows the Antarctic coast with details impossible for that era. The frozen continent was only officially discovered in 1820, and its real topography under the ice was only mapped with sonar in the 20th century. How did a 16th century Turkish cartographer possess such precise information about unknown lands? The Oronteus Phineas map from 1531 also shows Antarctica without ice, revealing rivers, mountains, and coasts that today are under kilometers of ice for thousands of years. For this information to be collected, someone would have had to fly over or map the continent when it was ice-free. Medieval maps show islands in the Atlantic that no longer exist or were never found. The Zeno map from 1380 describes lands in the Arctic with surprising detail, including hot springs and vegetation that really exist in these regions. How did medieval explorers obtain such precise knowledge about regions considered inaccessible? Ancient Portolan charts demonstrate knowledge of maritime longitude, a technique that was only mastered in the 18th century with the invention of precise chronometers. These maps present correct spherical projections of Earth, suggesting that their creators knew the planet was round long before Columbus. Some of these ancient maps appear to have been copied from even older sources. Annotations in the documents themselves indicate they were based on maps from the Library of Alexandria or lost Phoenician sources. This suggests the existence of cartographic traditions much older than official history recognizes. Greek fire, an incendiary weapon used by the Byzantine Empire, burned on water and could not be extinguished by conventional means. The formula was lost, and even today, chemists cannot reproduce its properties exactly. What technological knowledge was lost with the fall of Constantinople? Damascus steel possessed metallurgical properties superior to any modern steel. Blades forged with this technique cut other metals and maintained permanent edge. The secret of its production was lost in the 18th century, and metallurgical engineers still attempt to reproduce its characteristics. Roman cements are more durable than modern concrete. 2,000-year-old structures remain intact while contemporary constructions deteriorate within decades. Chemical analysis reveals components and proportions that we cannot completely replicate. Mayan medicine used complex surgical procedures, including cranial trepanation, with survival rates superior to medieval European hospitals. Egyptian mummies show evidence of heart surgery and organ transplants. How did ancient civilizations master medical techniques rediscovered only recently? Some ancient texts describe processes that resemble modern technologies. The Hindu Ramayana describes weapons that resemble nuclear bombs, including radiation effects and lasting contamination. Medieval alchemical texts contain formulas that seem to describe advanced chemical reactions using symbolic terminology. The first modern UFO reports share similar characteristics with ancient descriptions. World War II pilots reported Foo Fighters, luminous objects that accompanied their aircraft. The descriptions of these phenomena are remarkably similar to the chariots of fire mentioned in biblical texts. The Roswell case in 1947 marks the beginning of the modern sighting era, but reported characteristics repeat throughout history. Discoidal metallic objects, pulsating lights, and capacity for impossible maneuvers appear in reports separated by centuries. Modern abductees describe beings with physical characteristics similar to ancient deities. Elongated heads, large eyes, and advanced knowledge are elements present in both Sumerian sculptures and contemporary extraterrestrial encounter reports. Light phenomena in the sky currently reported occur frequently near ancient archaeological sites. Pyramids, stone circles, and other megaliths seem to attract anomalous activity. Would this be coincidence, or do these locations maintain some function we do not understand? The frequency of sightings increased significantly after important technological events like nuclear explosions and space launches, as if our technological evolution awakened interest from observers who have accompanied us for millennia. The ancient astronaut theory proposes that extraterrestrial beings visited Earth in remote times and influenced human civilization development. This intervention would explain inexplicable evolutionary leaps and advanced knowledge in primitive cultures. Some researchers suggest that these visitors established terrestrial bases and maintained prolonged contact with ancient civilizations. This would explain the similarity between global mythologies and technical knowledge shared among distant cultures. The galactic zoo hypothesis proposes that Earth functions as a protected reserve, where humanity evolves under discrete observation by advanced civilizations. This would explain why direct contacts are rare and why definitive evidence is scarce. Another theory suggests that advanced terrestrial civilizations existed in the distant past and were destroyed by natural catastrophes or wars. Their survivors would have influenced later cultures, creating legends about gods and lost knowledge. The directed panspermia theory proposes that life on Earth was deliberately seeded by extraterrestrial civilizations. This would explain the complexity of the genetic code and anomalies in terrestrial evolution that suggest intentional intervention. Declassified documents reveal that world governments have investigated anomalous phenomena for decades. The American Project Blue Book cataloged thousands of sightings, but its results remain partially censored. Why would information about natural phenomena be classified as state secrets? Controversial archaeological artifacts frequently disappear from museums or are removed from public exhibitions. The Smithsonian Institution is accused of suppressing evidence of human giants and anachronistic technologies. What interests are protected by concealing these discoveries? Scientists who investigate alternative theories about human origins frequently face academic ostracism and loss of funding. Current scientific dogma seems to resist evidence that challenges established paradigms. Scientists should be open to new discoveries, not defend against them. Cases of military confiscation of supposedly extraterrestrial materials are reported worldwide. Governments allege national security issues, but what threat could archaeological objects represent unless they contain technologies that would radically change our understanding of reality? Witnesses of anomalous events frequently report intimidation and pressure to silence their accounts. Retired military personnel, commercial pilots, and scientists describe similar experiences of official discouragement. Why so much effort to keep certain knowledge secret? The possibility of extraterrestrial visitation in antiquity raises fundamental questions about our position in the universe. If we are not unique and did not evolve in isolation, how does this affect our understanding of humanity's purpose and destiny? Traditional religions would have to reinterpret sacred texts in light of evidence of extraterrestrial contact. Many biblical and mythological descriptions would gain new meaning when interpreted as accounts of encounters with advanced technologies. The idea that we receive knowledge from external sources challenges concepts of human progress and cultural evolution. Are we really the dominant species on the planet, or do we participate in a larger experiment conducted by superior intelligences? The discovery of definitive evidence of ancient visitation would radically change collective human psychology. How would societies react to knowing that we are not alone and that our official history is incomplete? Some philosophers argue that humanity is not psychologically prepared for truths about our origins. Knowledge of technological dependence on other civilizations could generate global existential crisis, or alternatively, inspire accelerated evolution. We have reached the end of our journey through the most intriguing evidence about possible extraterrestrial visitation in antiquity. We explored impossible artifacts, lost knowledge, megalithic structures, and global patterns that suggest influences beyond natural human evolution. We cannot state with absolute certainty that we were visited by aliens in the past, but we also cannot ignore the accumulation of anomalous evidence. The quantity of coincidences, cultural similarities, and advanced knowledge in primitive civilizations forms a pattern difficult to explain with conventional theories alone. Perhaps our history is much more complex and fascinating than we imagine. Perhaps we are part of a larger cosmic narrative, where advanced intelligences observe and occasionally influence developing civilizations. Or perhaps our own species is older and more sophisticated than we believe. Human curiosity has led us to explore these possibilities, but we must also maintain healthy skepticism. The truth is probably somewhere between current scientific dogma and the most speculative theories about our origin. What is important is to keep an open mind for new discoveries and question official narratives when contradictory evidence emerges. Our understanding of the past continues to evolve as new technologies reveal secrets buried for millennia. What do you think about this evidence? Are we really unique in the universe, or does our history hide encounters that forever changed humanity's destiny? The answer may be closer than we imagine. If this dive into the mysteries of our origin awakened your curiosity about the secrets that official history prefers to ignore, you are in the right place. This channel is dedicated to exploring the most intriguing and inexplicable phenomena of our world. Subscribe and activate notifications so you do not miss any investigation about UFOs, lost civilizations, ancient technologies, and all the mysteries that challenge our understanding of who we really are and where we came from. Leave your opinion in the comments about the evidence we presented today. Do you believe we were visited in the past, or do you have some alternative theory to explain these phenomena? Your perspective enriches our collective search for truth. Continue with us on this journey of discoveries. The universe is much more mysterious than we were taught, and each answer we find only reveals new, even more fascinating questions. Until the next investigation.